Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Holy shit. All right. Disaster and Easy to Block Captain just ended. I don't believe the night has ended. I think we still have a 2-on-2 to go before I think that's the main event. And then we have day two coming tomorrow. But wow. Diz versus Easy. I honestly think this is a really, really good battle. On top of it, I actually think this is a way closer battle than it seemed like the internet was making it out to be. Um, one of the things that I really liked about it is that they both wrote up. I feel like their weakest rounds was their first. I felt like their second best rounds was their second, and I feel like their best rounds was their third. I mean, if you want to talk about, breaking down the first round, I feel like Dizaster had good pockets that he went into, but I feel like there were a couple moments where he played around a little bit. And although that is his wheelhouse and it's something that he likes to do, I think when you're going for the win, you want to be, as straightforward as possible, and you want to be as powerful as possible, especially when you're facing someone like Easy to Block Captain who can match the intensity of Dizaster, but also stay on that path, right? He doesn't stray off and do things that could be hit or miss. So as far as the first round, not only was there a couple things that he did, as far as like the jokes that were a little hit or miss. I would love to see the time because I feel like Disaster's first round was a little short. I feel like it was shorter than Easy's, and we're gonna talk about that in the second as well because I think it was actually the complete opposite when it came down to the second. Easy's first I thought was dope as well, but once again, just the same thing I think with Dizaster. I thought that was his weakest round as well. I thought the only thing that separated Easy from Diz in that round was not having any real like hit or miss things where you're going so outside the box. It really depends on who's in the crowd as far as like who's going to catch it. I thought his punches were not as strong, coming from Easy, but I just felt like he stayed the course. One longer than Diz did, and then two just like I said, lacked those outside the box attempts at humor and joking and stuff like that. I'm not saying joking doesn't work, but I feel like it didn't. It fell kind of short when Diz did it. Second round, I thought was actually pretty insane. I mean, like this is probably I would actually say the second and third were really close. I mean, every single round was pretty close. Every single round was pretty close, man. I said I said Easy continues the run, but when I say that he's continuing this run, I don't say that he cleared Diz. I actually think this is a debatable battle. And the same reason why I'm giving Easy, even though I thought he outdid him with punch attempts and then also just effective punching, the same reason why I would give Easy the first, as far as just feeling like his round was longer, might be the same reason I was giving Diz the second round. I thought Easy kind of cut that second round short. It hurt. It sounded like he clearly had more to say. It sounded like he had started one line out of a 4-bar setup and then completely cut it short. It even seemed like he was a little iffy about it before he even got to the line. Diz, the guy that he is, and the ear and the eyes and ears that he has, he called it out immediately. And Easy didn't really have any blowback from it. You know what I mean? Sometimes people talk and you let your opponent talk in between or after rounds. You don't need to rebuttal. You don't need to say anything back. But I feel like it was kind of telling that Easy didn't have anything to say when Diz had kind of accused him of choking. I do think he cut that round short. Once again, extremely close round. Diz was firing on all cylinders. I mean, ridiculous angles and stark like big difference between the first and the second. Exactly what I wanted from him in the first is exactly what he did in the second. So I actually had Diz taking that second round. I thought he took that second round. Easy's second round was dope as well. Dude, every single one of these rounds were razor close. Very, very, very close rounds, man. I'm, as soon as I turn this off, I'm about to watch it again, because this was an extremely close round, and I think the deciding factors for who wins each round comes down to very minimal things. Very, very minimal things. I thought Diz, the same way I thought in the first round, Diz and Eazy were pretty neck and neck, but there was a couple of things that Diz did that I felt like fell short and gave Eazy that edge. I'm going to say the same thing for Dizaster. I think they were both neck and neck in the second, and I think Eazy cut that round. I think he cut that round, and even if he didn't, it would have showed as a pretty short round compared to Diz's round. And I also thought Diz was just as effective as Eazy. So that was the pull away for me as far as the second round. Man, this third round is really interesting. This third round is interesting. Because you have, I feel like both of them are maxed out at this point. Riding up, I mean, salute to y'all for riding up. A lot of people have their best shit. They empty the gas tank in the first round, and then they just gobble the blah, 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 blah. In the second and third, these gentlemen wrote up. It's amazing to see. Diz firing on all cylinders once again. The aggression that we needed, the right jokes, the right angles, the punchlines, bringing Frack out as the prop was a haymaker. It was a great round. And then once again, Eazy comes back with a great round. Guys, this is a really tough battle to call. This is a very, very tough battle to call, man. It's going to take a second watch for me as far as like a clear, concise winner. I have Eazy taking the third. But I think I'm going to have to look back on it, man, because while a lot of his bars in the second half of the third were hitting hard, I am a real big critic of bars that just don't apply to your opponent. I consider them like cipher bars. So Eazy did have a pocket where he was landing, but it was like just talking his shit landing. The best part for me and why I gave him the win and why I didn't really take that many points off with that is because he eventually got around to it and tied Dizaster in. When he said he said coke in Japanese, Spanish, and like Arabic or something. Amazing stuff, because for a second there, I really, even through the reaction, man, even when a crowd is reacting, you really do have to think about everything that person is saying, man, and you have to take that reaction with a grain of salt. So even through the crowd reaction he was getting, as a judge, if I'm being a judge, if I'm sitting there and I have to score the battle, I am looking at his second half of that third as like, okay, he's not talking about Diz. All right, that's another 4 bars. He's not talking about Diz. Another 4 bars. He's not talking about Diz. He's not talking about Diz. I think he saved himself tying it in. All the drug talk, he turned it around, and that's a flaw that a lot of people have. That Eazy does not, and he's focusing more on it. I think he might have had that flaw back then where it was coke talk and it was drug talk, and it was just that. There was no bringing your opponent into what you're trying to do. So he took those bars that I looked at as cipher bars, tied them in at the end. I mean, guys, you are looking at a really close battle. This battle is razor close, bro. I need to watch this again. Biggest salute to Diz. Biggest salute to Eazy. I fuck with both of them. I mean, wow. Like I said, they wrote up. Their first rounds were their weakest rounds, but they were still solid rounds, and they just kept getting better. This was highly competitive. It's really good to see Eazy just be able to blend in and adapt anywhere he goes. It doesn't matter what league he's on. It doesn't matter what city he's in. He puts on. Diz, one of the better performances I've seen from him lately, and I look forward to seeing this battle again, aka right now. I have Eazy 2-1 by the skin. By the skin of his teeth. By the skin of his teeth. And the only reason why I say the run continues is because there is nowhere in this battle that you find a clear loss. And to be honest, I could say the same thing for Diz. I do not think Diz clearly lost. I do not think Eazy clearly lost. This is a great battle. Shout out to Grind Time. I will see you day 2, aka tomorrow. And yeah, that's it.